Welcome guys back to another Davis Bailey gaming video. Today we're going to be reviewing the M1 Garand and its history. We'll be going over how it's used in Battlefield 5, its history, and its iconicness, basically, and yeah. I just want to say, before we begin, that, oh, look at that, it's so beautiful. Today's a very special day because it's 9/11, and I'm releasing an American gun on this day, so it's quite cool. It's a pretty special thing to do on this day, so hope you enjoy. And like I said, 9/11, it's not something that people are like, oh my god, 9/11, I want that day, but it's the day to remember, and hopefully this video will be too. I've tried this 3 times, actually 5 times now, so hopefully I get it right. Also, I want to say before we begin, I've got all my information off of Wikipedia, and I kind of really like it, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's begin. The M1 Garand, or M1 rifle, is a 30.6 caliber semi-automatic battle rifle that was the standard U.S. service rifle during World War II and the Korean War, and also saw limited service during the Vietnam War. Most M1 rifles were issued to the U.S. forces, though many hundreds of thousands were also provided as foreign aid to American allies. The Garand is still used by drill teams and military honored guards to this day. It is also widely used by civilians for hunting, target shooting, and as a military collectible. I mean, look at that gun. It looks awesome. It's World War II. Who wouldn't want that gun? Even I want that gun, and I'm like, what, 12 now? Like, jeez. The M1 rifle was named after its Canadian-American designer. Oh, Canadian. I actually didn't know that. John Garand. It was the first standard-issue semi-automatic military rifle. By most accounts, the M1 performed well. General George S. Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. He's a very hands-on general. He was one of the best, I'd say, in World War II. His nickname was Blood and Guts, so you kind of get the idea. I'm not doing an interview on him, so here we go. Interview. What's interview? Oh, whatever. Bear with me. The M1 replaced the bolt-action M1903 Springfield and is the standard U.S. service rifle in 1936. And then again was itself replaced by the selective fire M14 rifle on March 26, 1958. Although the Garand is frequently pronounced Garand, the preferred pronunciation is Garand to rhyme with errand. According to experts and people who knew John Garand, the weapon designer, frequently referred it as Garand or M1 Garand by civilians. Its official designation when it was the issued rifle in the U.S. Army and U.S. Marine Corps was U.S. rifle, caliber .30, M1, or just M1. And Garand was not once mentioned, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, when it comes to guns, creators' names usually get slapped on at the back of it, like the Thompson and many others that can't come to mind right now. So that's cool. Next, I'm actually going to give you a fun fact next. It was actually an interesting thing that the Japanese actually used variations of this gun off the American soldiers. They literally took the weapon and used it in their army, so that's pretty cool. Now, next thing I'd like to get into is the legend. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's a legend where German or people said that when the American ping of the Garand would go off, German soldiers would rush into a room and kill them all. Now, this legend is not true due to the fact that all of them may have not pinged, and several of them maybe still be active and shoot you dead, or it was just not acted upon and not heard over the sounds and screams of the battle. Yeah, so that's that. And next thing I'd like to talk to you about is the ping and how it's reloaded. Now, the ping, when you insert a clip and when you want to reload, you have to take out the whole clip, even if you still got a few bullets in, which kind of sucks. But it's like, it's like, what are you gonna do? Take 1-2 bullets out in the, middle of a battle? No, right? So you insert it through a top, and as it was at the time, this was quite a thing. Because all the way up to this point, they were using clips and never mags. Mags was kind of a new thing at this time and rarely used in weapons. So I cannot blame him. And it's a gun for its time. It's something to remember. And it's also a very personal touch to American citizens and people from World War II, because it was, I would say, the weapon that won the war for the Americans. And it's a quite hard weapon next I will talk about is how it acts in Battlefield 5. It's an 8-round bolt-action semi-automatic rifle, and they can bite you, so you have to be very good at maneuvering, reloading, and positioning yourself well. It's a great gun, and it's so fun to use, but you have to be good with it, because those 8 bullets, they really can bite you. You have to be careful. Now, I know it's definitely not the best gun on paper. There are so many more to use, but when you use it, you feel like you're in World War II game. You feel like the gun is just so World War II. It looks World War II. It feels World War II. It sounds World War II. And it was from World War II, so it's such a fun gun to play with. And it feels strong and powerful when you shoot it. It feels like doom. It feels like it can do some serious damage, and it can. You just have to be good at maneuvering and positioning yourself. And it's a great gun and great fun to play with and to use. It's fun. Just gotta be good at positioning yourself. So, you have to be good at that, and, you know, it's kind of cool. So, I love it. And its ping is so iconic. I mean, it's the thing that, you know, the ping, just the iconic ping. It's like, doom, doom, ding. It's the thing that pretty much made this gun famous. And it was probably famous before, but it's definitely one of the reasons I like it. One of them, but there's many others. Now, in Battlefield 5, it has a rate of fire of 360 rounds per minute, but I chose with my Spec Ops to bring it down to 300, but I'll get into that later. Now, it has a rate of fire of 360, and it's a semi-automatic battle rifle in Battlefield 5, and it has 8 rounds, so like I said, you have to be careful with positioning yourself and knowledgeable about the weapon, and you have to play with it a bit before you get good. It's one of those things where you have to play with, and then when you get good, it's one of the funnest guns to use in the game, as it's iconic, powerful, and overall a pretty good gun if you know how to use it. Now, you can put a big sight on it, but I've seen people do it, and I just can't bring myself to do it. Like, it's such an iconic weapon. I don't want to say disgrace, that's a bit much, but I just feel like you can't do that because it's such an iconic weapon. This is how it used, and I love it, and I don't think you should change how it was used. I've seen some people do it, and I just don't really like it, you know? I prefer it this way. It's great this way. Why do I need to change it, right? So, no, keep it the same, right? And it looks awesome. Like, when you put the scope on, it just looks weird, and it doesn't look like World War II. Like, you can do it with the Thompson. You can put the drug mag on, and I feel like a drug lord in freaking, I don't know, South America, you know? It doesn't feel right. And I just feel like it should be like this, in my opinion, of course. All this is my opinion. I'm just voicing it, alright? So, yeah. Now, my specializations. When it comes to quick aim and barrel bulleting, I feel like you should choose quick aim because it gets you in the fight quicker and you can improve the accuracy down the road. Like I said, with custom stock. And when you do quick reload, I feel like it kind of goes together when you're positioning yourself with the 8-round bullets. So I'm saying it goes together. You can do it with that. Light and stock you have to choose, of course, and at the end I chose heavy load, which does bring the rate of fire down to 300, but I feel like it's better if you can land those shots and your accuracy is pretty good and you're not just like shooting it all over the place. And it can kill people quicker, so I just feel like it's a better specialization. So it's left, 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 right. And like I say at the end of every video, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my history lesson and how hacks Battlefield 5, and as I always say, hope to see you in the next one.